You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Grey's Anatomy After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Grey's Anatomy After Show.
Never get tired of this song.
I know. Finale, mid-series finale.
Woo! I can't believe we're having 2 finales now.
I love it.
Do the viewers need that? Because I don't think my nerves could take it. I'm Julie Partin.
Ooh, and I'm Starr Session. Here's our part, though.
Oh.
Can't skip it.
No, we've told you before you're not allowed to do it from the back where we can't see you.
Not allowed. Oh, my gosh. How are you guys?
We are so amped about this episode.
Yes.
It is season 10, episode 12. Get up, stand up.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. You know, Bob Marley a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, you sang it better than Bob Marley.
Thank you.
So this episode was crazy from the get-go. And we should have known because last week, Doldrum setting us up for it, there was a lot of plot to fulfill.
Yes, and they fulfilled a lot of plots. Every character, after we said last week, there's too many characters for everyone to have a big arc. Well, they answered our prayers.
Everyone had a giant conclusion.
Ooh, not even conclusion, like some cliffhangers.
No, it's true.
Also.
So many cliffhangers, which we'll try not to spoil right off the top of the hour. But oh my gosh, I'm reeling about this.
Oh my gosh, great show, and I cried. FYI, I cried
Seriously,
at the
I've
end.
never seen Starr cry.
But then at one point I cried and laughed, and it just got like crazy. It was just a really great episode.
She cried for a long time.
Yeah.
She's not even pregnant. So we start out, we decided the first topic we would talk about is Shang. Well, this guy...
Shang Yang.
He is totally like gone off the deep end in a way I didn't see coming.
Well, yeah, let's just start from the beginning. You know, like when it comes down to last week, we were really just kind of like, he's coming into his own as a character. He used to be a little bit like shy, and now he's finally like being just a really bold person. But but all the people were saying last week is like he needs to be put back in his place because he's kind of going a little too far. And we start off the episode of Yang having this conference meeting where she's giving the information about what happened with the printing and the baby and all of that. And Shane basically jumps in, grabs her mic, reaches across the table, and like is stepping up to the plate in a way that's kind of like, dude, sit back and relax.
Yang was blowing it. There's this giant press conference, and apparently this medical marvel that she has done is huger than we realize.
Yes.
She's being nominated for the Harper Avery Award. There's all different types of publications in there to see what she's talking about. This is groundbreaking.
Yeah, it's
And we
huge.
don't know why, but she's falling flat on her face.
Well, we kind of know why.
Well, we figured out why. She told us. We find out later she had no idea what she's done. She doesn't know why it worked.
Well, we saw that definitely last week. I mean, when it comes down to it, she's also was taking a step back as a friend, especially because Mare was in the room. You could see her making that eye contact with her, like, I'm getting this attention. And I guess it would be Meredith's attention if, you know, her fork would have been more than a fork. You know what I mean? But like, or if it would have worked on the sheep. But you know, she was kind of trying to also be a good friend and not gloat in that moment. But then also it is true, like she kind of just like didn't know what was going on.
You know how sometimes your oldest and closest friends, you don't want them around during certain things?
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. Like maybe if she was without Meredith in the room, because Meredith knows her, Meredith sees her more than everybody else.
True.
And I think maybe she felt like Meredith could see that she was faking it if she did. She was scared out of her mind. She just kept thinking like, I know I didn't do anything fantastic, and Meredith knows too.
Well, I mean, it is fantastic. We don't know where this baby's going to end up, but she's getting all of this attention and absolutely has no idea why, you know, which is devastating for Yang because she's one of those people that wants to know all the steps and be like, make sure her research is on point and yada, yada, yada. We know how Yang is, so it has to be upsetting for her, you know?
So this whole Meredith and Cristina thing, I was getting over. And then this episode, for some reason, I wasn't as over it.
Oh, no, there was an arc to it.
Yeah, I like the fact that Meredith decided to take her career into her own hands and do something fantastic. And then Cristina, using Meredith's tools, stumbled upon a groundbreaking medical procedure.
Right.
And so that's causing all this conflict between them. And I think that's a part of the story I didn't see before. All I saw was them feuding as friends because of life-changing happening. But I think it's more than phases here.
Well, it's more than phases, and they're going through the phases of fighting with a friend. Okay, this happens in real life. Hello, like you have a friend, you have a fight, and then it's like awkward at first. Then you try to have a talk about it, and then you realize you guys are really pissed at each other.
You're still mad.
And then like words have been flown that shouldn't have been said, and then now they're kind of, when they went to the fitting for the bridesmaids' dresses, that was their moment where they were like, let's just talk. Like they were, we're stuck in this room, let's just talk it out. But then more words were being flown that shouldn't have been said, but they were talking about it, you know?
At that point in time, more than the rest of the fight, because I've been a solid Team Meredith through this entire thing, Meredith was pulling out daggers unnecessarily.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like Cristina pulled back verbally, and Meredith just kept flinging,
Yeah, more like low blows. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Meredith had some really good low blows, I must say. But besides that, like, you can't really pick a side in this fight. Like, they're both kind of right. You know what I mean?
And they're both kind of wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I was talking to Starr about it. I have friends who pursue the same career as me, full steam ahead, much harder. And I've made choices to do other things besides that sometimes. And if they make it, they make it. I don't think Meredith should be holding that against Cristina.
No, not at all. But then there's those times when, like, you feel like you're making it and you don't want to gloat in front of your friends. There's also that aspect of it. And I think Yang is trying her best not to, but Meredith just happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And, like, you know what I mean? Like, showing up and, like, seeing her, like... Of course, Shane comes in the middle and is like, hey, you're being nominated, and then in the middle of the fight, he's not really seeing what's going on with this whole thing. But when it comes down to it, like, it's another blow for Meredith subconsciously, And
right then, Meredith picked up, the BFF sense there.
Yeah.
They were sleeping together because Shane wasn't even embarrassed that he walked in on her getting dressed.
Not at all.
So she knew right then they were sleeping together. And Yang brought it up to Shane. You're losing it. And a lot of people think so.
Yeah, because he hasn't been sleeping.
Well, that's what we find out later. He's been lying about his hours. At the hospital. Apparently there's some system on the iPads, I knew that was flawed, where he's going in and changing it, saying that he hasn't been working 80 hours, or he's been working over his 80 hours, and he's drinking Red Bull all the time.
Or whatever that substance is. Like, he is diving into his work like Yang, you know what I mean? And just like putting it in there because, as I said last week, like whatever happened to him caring about Mousy dying, you know what I mean? Like that was like a big thing, and I felt that they dropped that storyline. But Shonda knows what she's doing, right when we like think she doesn't know what she's doing, she's right back on top and she answers all of our prayers,
What goes around comes around.
Exactly. And so
one of the main patients that came in this episode was again Alex's dad.
Yes.
And
he's still at the hospital.
Haven't we been through this before? But we finally get some closure. Because Alex says the things to his dad, like straightforward. I know it was terrible, but you left and you left it on me.
Yeah.
Entirely. I was the dad, you weren't there.
Well, what's so interesting about this story is, yes, it's like it was getting a little drawn out, and we kind of, in predictions last week, even the fans online, they definitely chimed in, which we love you guys. Shout out to you guys. But they were just making a point that, like, maybe they're gonna like reconnect and then he's gonna die. But it was just kind of a little bit of a twist where he like reconnected with his dad in a way of telling him how he really felt, and it is okay. You know what I mean? Like I when it comes down to it, like my father wasn't in my life. He wasn't in a sense, but not in a way that he was always there. And so I battle with that too. And I'm sure a lot of our fans can relate that, sometimes someone isn't there in your life all the way, but you just have to be able to stand up, tell them, and it's okay that they're there in whatever capacity it is. With my father personally, it's like, oh, you weren't there all that much, but you're still loving in a way that you love me and you care for me, but you weren't there. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of a battle. And it's okay to say these words to him. And I think that he took it hard, but it's just very devastating that he went into whatever was happening at the end where he had to go jump into surgery.
I think it was a heart attack. So Alex, there was another patient where this man's son was hit by a car, and instead of waiting for the ambulance, the dad was too anxious, brought the son in himself, and he might have paralyzed the boy.
Totally paralyzed the boy.
That was so sad.
It's like, you know, like there's some
That's one of the saddest things I've seen on the show.
It's definitely sad, but I think that's why I watch Grey's, because I needed to know what's going on since I'm not a doctor. I've learned so much over the years, like, you know, you apply pressure until the blood stops, like little different things like that, because not everyone knows, you know?
While we're sharing, I saw a girl get hit by a truck in college. She literally laid face first on the asphalt until the ambulance got there because some nursing students came up and said that.
Don't move.
And I was just seriously like, can we just not
turn her
leave
over?
her here? It was raining.
Oh my gosh.
And she's laying on the asphalt and she could sort of talk, but she ended up breaking an arm and a leg. She was fine.
Yeah.
But it was traumatizing.
It could have been even worse if you would have moved him.
So exactly. So the dad moved him. He probably paralyzed the son. The dad realized it. And Alex had this epiphany that my dad did the best he could, even if it was a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes down to it, like, I don't know. Like, I really feel that Alex has been waiting to reconnect with his father in a sense, but I just didn't think that it was going to turn the way it did. And he was going to go to his father and just tell him like it is and kind of just be like goodbye, which was weird. The goodbye part was what was like a little uneasy for me. Like, why you can't rebuild anything with your father, you know, in a small capacity.
I almost like it better because them reconciling after what his father put him through is highly, highly unlikely. But Alex walking around with this much hatred and wounds is also not good for him.
No,
so I think for him to...
He's been miserable and it's been making his storyline worse.
To have his peace, let his father off the hook, that's freedom for both of them. I think that's the best way it could end. Maybe with anybody that has a relationship that needs... You need a little bit of resolution at least before you part ways.
Yeah. Well, I mean... It's going to be devastating when he finds out what happened.
I don't think... okay. So the dad, right after his son, you know, breaks his heart or whatever, has a heart attack.
I feel like it wasn't just a heart attack, but...
I feel like there was 3 letters attached to it. You guys don't get mad at us. We just saw the episode.
Yeah, I want to watch it again.
We walked from the other room into here. I think it was... I want to say MRI, but that's not a heart condition.
No.
I didn't even write it down.
The MRI is like...
But the other intern that was going crazy this episode was Leah.
Well, what's so cute is that the interns are starting to stick together and have this like camaraderie with the girls. And they were trying to coach Leah again on like, oh, this is what you need. You need to go to the wedding and get your mind off of it. And there's always like single people at a wedding, especially the reception. So if you're single, definitely hit up a wedding. So I think that's the direction they were like trying to take her in. And
you look fantastic. Yeah. So it's a good place to see exes too.
No, true. Very true. Very true. So Leah, she got crazy one more time because she's like always on the edge of wanting to be crazy, right?
She's crazy. She's just hides it well. Sometimes more than others. So Bailey finally comes back after all this OCD stuff, and they see this patient that Bailey's like, I think I have a way where you don't have to get your 314th surgery. And Leah's like, oh, no. I finally was going to scrub in.
I know. And she was so verbal. It made it seem like, oh, you don't need this, or she's doing something crazy. I was a little, at first, I was like, why is she like, ing it? You know what I mean? It was just like, oh, is it not going to work? Like, da-da-da-da-da,
I was wondering the same thing. No, Leah was just being selfish.
Selfish Leah.
So she does the surgery for Bailey. Whenever the heart attack happens, everybody is gone from the hospital at the wedding. The only people left are Leah and Shane.
Oh my gosh.
And crazy Shane won't let them call anyone else.
Well, Shane's he hasn't slept. And when sleeping doesn't happen, you become a little delusional. Then when you put a Red Bull on top of that, you become a little like fanatic, crazy, you know, like over the top. So I think there was a lot of aspects into when Shane flipped, because starting off with him just yelling at other attendees and yelling at other interns and yelling at all his coworkers, like that was when he went one step too far, and they should have never went to the surgery without an attendee. Like, at all. Like, that was a bad move on Leah.
Honestly,
personally,
I didn't see this foreshadowed in any way.
That he was
losing it that much.
Mm-hmm. It kind of crept up. You know, you're right. It was kind of like, I don't know.
I saw him, turning into Cristina, but I also saw him forging his own path. And that's what I thought this was. I didn't know this was coming from a place of not over mousy.
Well, I wanted it to be over, not that I wanted it to be over mousy, but like I wanted that mousy story to come back because it felt like such a big part of this season. It started off the season this way, you know what I mean? Like losing an intern, so it's like, why would we just have this big arc in the beginning and lose it? So I'm glad it kind of came back in a way because you do have to deal with things in life. You know what I mean? Like you can't just put it away and think it'll never come back because it'll always come back.
Maybe I would have liked it if last week we had seen a tiny moment where he taught another intern how to change their hours. As maybe a little foreshadowing of this.
To help you prep it in. I mean,
because I feel like it didn't even really hit me till the last, 15 minutes of the episode that he was losing it.
Well, I mean, him yelling at people, him stepping in for an attendee, Yang, even though they're sleeping together. It was like he was always going
Meredith. Yeah.
He's always going a little bit one step too far. So it's definitely building up to like what's going on. Why is he having this power trip? Because I thought like, oh, he forgot about Mousy and he's having this power trip and is moving on. Like, you know what, I'm just going to take over this hospital. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like he was moving on, but it felt like it was building up to something.
So a lot of times throughout 10 seasons of Grey's Anatomy, we see characters lose it mentally and emotionally.
Yes.
And this is one of the first, aside from Owen's PTSD, that we've seen a male character just lose it that way.
Yeah.
So that's good, because they got their issues too.
It's not all the women, okay?
It's not just women that can't get past it and go crazy. Like, Shane went crazy.
Yeah, I kind of love it though.
Yeah.
In a way.
Richard went crazy before.
I think every character has gone a little crazy.
Not McDreamy. He's just one note dreamy.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he got a little crazy when they shot up the hospital, and he was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, this is not going to work for me.
So they go in to the surgery with Alex's dad and have one of the most terrifying scenes of this whole series, because you think that's the last thing you ever want to happen to you at a hospital. I was in the hospital this week, people. Some of you saw, but one of our fans said, don't let the interns touch you. And this is why.
Exactly.
He's literally like, zing, throwing organs out, ripping the chest apart with his hands. It was so scary.
He was really brutal with it. It's not like he was like being nice in there. And Leah saw that moment of like, I was like, why is he saying her? And you're like, it's muffled under the...
We rewound it, because I thought he literally went monster voice on us. He's like, I've got it. I've got it. But Starr said, no, he said her.
Yeah, he definitely said her. And I was like, ooh, it's getting juicy.
So we rewinded. He's like, I've got her. So Leah runs, gets Chief. Chief comes back in.
No, Leah's like, she tells someone, go get... And anyone. And that person never comes back. And then she takes...
Yeah, where did that person go? They're like this, running. Oh, lunch.
Forgot about it. But, of course, Weber's in the hospital doing nothing. Like, why was he just sitting there? Like, we love that about Weber.
He scheduled a surgery, but he didn't.
There's no way.
He just sat next to the board, reading it. That guy is an expert at looking busy.
Yes, love that. Oh, my gosh. But Weber came in, and Weber, he... was the chief. He knows how to handle all kinds of people in situations, and he took it into his own hands. And Leah needs to step. Leah's going to get reprimanded for this for sure, but Leah needed to step up in that moment. But I feel like she didn't know what to do. It just kind of was all overwhelming. And Weber was calm, collective, and snapped and realized that he was saying her and was like, she is going to be okay.
Yeah,
I've got her from here, and kind of did a little reverse psychology, so that moment was like epic in my opinion when he looked up with the light.
He has his value. It's just like random whenever he brings it out. But so Shane goes to the elevator.
Oh,
we were laughing. He's covered in blood.
Yeah, you don't leave the OR like that.
He looks like a zombie.
Oh my gosh! Imagine
in the elevator. If the elevator opened and someone was like that, you'd run screaming.
Yeah, drenched in blood, head to toe.
It's just dropping off of him.
Oh my gosh, leaving a trail from the OR. Like, all unsanitary. Very much going to get in trouble for this whole ordeal. Like, what do we think? Suspension?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I have seen people on the show do worse and not get suspended, so no. But that's probably going to be one of those things where they make him have counseling. I don't know. They can't lose that character. He's the only male intern.
No, not that he would be suspended and off the show, but suspended and not know what to do with his life and like.
Maybe it's just a big setback whenever April Felder boards, something like that.
Well, that's true. I mean, Leah was taking over the floor or taking over this patient. And even though Shane had worked on this patient before, it was her call. And for her to go ahead with this surgery, I feel like they're both going to get in so much trouble and they're not going to know what to do. So I can't wait until February.
Well, Chief jumps in as if this guy isn't dead as a doornail. I thought he was gone. I thought Alex's dad was dead. There was no signs.
It sounded like it was flatlined, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know? So they did leave us with a cliffhanger. He might not be dead, but God, it seemed like it.
Yeah.
It really did.
I feel like it's going to be a close call, or it's going to bring us back into the next episode, definitely ending up in that OR room. You know, that's where we're going to start off next season.
But we did see such a great moment with Alex. At the wedding, he finally goes to Joe and he's like, I'll be there. I'll be a great dad. Are you the only person I ever need? I thought he was going to propose.
I know you were like, no, it's happening. And I'm like, I don't think it's happening. It's too soon, but I think it will happen now that they had this little moment, you know, like, but when you have like someone in your life that you have to let go of, and you have that, like, he basically like let go of his dad. He made it okay for him, and he was holding on to it for so long that he realized when you have that in your life, you always don't want, it's like breaking the chain. You always want to break the chain. And he wants to break the chain by being a good father, by being a good husband, by being a good dad. So I think it's going to be, if they do get married, that'll be next season's marriage or finale. Oh, I don't know. There's going to be another marriage.
You're right, though. He did say to his dad something about maybe if you'd have stayed, I'd be selling beer. So he's like, I'm glad the chain's broken. I've got you, and let's do this thing.
Yeah.
No proposal. He just sort of
made out
pinned her up against that barn.
Yes, I love the one hand on the barn and the lean in. I was like, ooh.
But we do have to touch on Joe. Way too much makeup for the hospital. Every episode.
The smoky eye is like
Tons
at all
of
hours of the day. You know, like it's too much. The smoky eye worked for the wedding. I loved the smoky eye there. But of course, I was like, she's a little hookered out. Like,
I know, yeah.
At all times.
Black nails. Yeah, she needs to lay off. So there's this one other patient story that really tied in with what happened at the end of the episode. And it was the man with the super smelly breath. So we're not getting there yet. But he had all this food in his throat because his muscles weren't working. They were doing this routine surgery. He was going to get it cut. There was a chance he couldn't speak again, so he said everything he needed to his wife.
Oh my gosh. This story, it was like very heartbreaking and very touching.
Good, bad, but the way they were saying, you're fine. It's very safe. You're fine. Anytime they say that, you know something's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
They don't take a moment on the show to say you're going to be fine if they're not going to be fine.
Exactly. That's true. I mean, this story was really cute because they were in love, good, bad, and indifferent. You know, the wife. It starts off the scene of the wife is like, my husband has bad breath. Like, whoa,
yeah.
They like took it there. You know what I mean? So it's cute that they could like be open with each other, but they loved each other so much that they wanted to take this step. But I'm sure she's gonna regret. Like, she'd rather have the bad breath than where he ended up.
Well, whenever they had this moment, Avery and Stephanie were working on this case together, and he quoted something from Mark about say it loud and say it proud or something.
Yeah, I didn't
say
write
it
it
loud
down.
and face the consequences or something, where he was just thinking you need to take an opportunity to say what you need to say.
Yes.
So they get out of surgery. It seemed to have gone well, but of course, super scary. That happening to a patient was more startling to me than like a seizure.
Yeah, I mean, he basically woke up, clenched up, his eyes were rolling in the back of his head, and he ended up having a stroke.
Oh, before we do that, right when they were about to cut in, Starr and I thought it was super suspenseful. Like, is food gonna explode? Is it gonna smell so
really bad?
And nothing.
No, they just kind of moved on to the next scene. I was like, oh, I wanted something. I wanted blood or guts or food or a chicken nugget.
It seemed as though it was headed that way, and it didn't.
Anything would have done, but fine.
Yeah, the guy's stroked out. And he's in a vegetated state now.
And And it's something that they weren't able to foresee. It's not something like they did something wrong, because that's the one thing that she asked is like, did we do anything wrong? And he was like, no, we could have never foreseen this, you know? But like, it's interesting because she was like, what do you think he said? What do you think that he said to her, the last words he said to her? And they were waiting to start the surgery. And that's when when they had that moment together where he said the thing about Sloan, and she was like telling him, trying to be really cute, like, you make this face, and they were like just trying to be as cute as they were. I love that moment because they were being really open with each other in a really cutesy way. So I thought that something was going to happen with it. But then after the surgery, that's when she almost had that moment where I think she was going to say that she loved him.
She was.
Right?
She started to.
Because that moment was there.
He should have known that's what she was going to say, but she just stopped. But here's the thing. Here's something interesting about it. Whenever Stephanie and Avery had that love moment, the immediate moment that they cut to was Matthew and April. Mm-hmm. And they had a little moment. April's running around trying to find her bridesmaid at the hospital.
That's really cute.
And they run into each other really fast. And then they don't look at each other, but they had this conversation. And it was leading up to the end because they both seemed so happy in that moment, both couples.
Well, when it comes down to it, like, everyone knows that I am against Avery being with Stephanie. Like, I just don't, I never felt it. Today, I felt it. And I was like, oh my gosh, they are in love. They're really cute. They're having these, like, they're working really well. They just looked really cute together. Like, I believed it. And I was, like, shocked at the end. It even brought me to tears. Are we going there? Are we ready?
Not yet.
Okay, what else are we missing?
Oh, I was just going to say how she almost said, I love you. Mm-hmm. But before we move on to the end, I think we should give some shout outs.
Oh, yeah.
To the people that we won't see till February.
Yes.
Holy smokes, that's a long time.
Yeah, if you're watching, definitely go to iTunes and rate and comment and subscribe to us and tell a friend. You can download the podcast and the app can be on your phone, which I absolutely love, as well as watching on YouTube because everyone's been doing that and they've been chiming in on who's their favorite host and who's their less favorite host, and we love that too. And I'm glad that I was one of the favorites last week. Thank you.
Can't lie though, when you're not the favorite host, it cuts deep. It's like a Meredith dagger.
I love it. Let's see what.
I would love to shout out to Brina Page, Dynamite Jack, Sunja Bumbar, Kinsu, I Love Music 08.
I think you've hit them all.
No, there's way more.
Oh, there's definitely way more.
Carol Melb.
Jacqueline.
Perlita Pan. Oh, that's a funny one.
Dynamite Jack. I like that.
Mick Mo.
Sandra Bumbar.
B. Jessie D 1509.
Just a GA, yeah, these names are crazy.
KK Talavera.
You know who you are. We retweet.
Just a GSM. Oh, and I do have, Tahalia, and I have a special one for the night. There is a fantastic Grey's Anatomy Instagram account.
Oh.
And it's called That Grey's Feeling.
I love that.
They put up Grey's pictures and Grey's quotes almost all the time, almost every day.
So it keeps you in the spirit of Grey's Anatomy.
So if you're an Instagrammer, that's absolutely somebody you're going to want on your feed.
I love it.
So moving on to the exciting part of the episode, this isn't actually it, but Derek was getting recruited by some suits to be a consultant on some neurosurgeon
new mapping
thing.
Ordeal.
And he kept saying, no. It seemed irrelevant. And then it got weird.
No, well, I mean, he's been working on this whole mapping thing. He's also like a very sought out surgeon, and he's top of the game, top of the line ordeal. Okay, but when they came in, all they wanted was him to consult. And what's so cute about it is that he had the baby, and he was trying to like show like how busy and how like it's not the right timing for this.
Do you think he had the baby, or he just was planning on saying no? So he said, "Bring me the baby.
Bring me the baby.
I need to portray busy.
I need to portray busy." No, I mean, no. I think there was a moment where Meredith was like, "Don't forget to pick up the baby." Yada. I think there was that moment there, so it wasn't just like, "Let me go get the baby so I can look busy." I think there was a reason for it, which was really cute because he's such a good dad, and he's being such a good husband by turning down offers and just being that kind of, stay-at-home dad in a sense, as if he's just taking on less work, but he's still going to work and that, whatever. So it's cute that he's taking the time to like be a dad and a husband.
But then at the wedding, in one of the weirdest moments of the whole series.
Yeah, of ever.
His phone rings during the wedding, and he picks it up.
Yeah, you don't pick up the phone.
Your phone's on silent at weddings.
Is it? Well,
Starr,
I mean, he's a doctor.
How many weddings have you been to?
It's at least on mute.
Yeah, he would at least glance down. But you pick up the phone.
On my wedding, I'm definitely going to have like that intro like at the movie theaters. Like, please turn down your phones. And
everyone should.
Please turn down your phones and get ready for the wedding ceremony of a century. Starr Session and Usher Raymond.
Oh, I'm marrying Usher. I love that.
Oh my gosh, apparently gotta be at that one.
Yeah.
Watch my phone ring and I'm like, hello, Mr. President.
You ready for your Usher session?
Yes.
He takes the call in the back and it's the president. What? What was that?
It was weird. And then for some reason I switched over and I was like, is Scandal president? Like I was thinking, that's why I was thinking
crossover.
that. Oh, there's going to be a crossover.
I think we just had the best idea ever.
Oh my gosh, there's going to be a Scandal crossover
I do not
prediction.
want President Fitzgerald in this show.
I would love it. And then Olivia Munn would have to, or Olivia, whatever her name is. What's her last name? Pope. Munn. No, different person. Celebrity.
They would just be whining off each other. President whining, Derek whining. Oh, get them out of here. But so, you know where it came from is Owen was saying, your president summons you, you do it. It's your calling.
Yeah, but I was wondering if that was... Did he know that this was about the president or the president had anything to do with it?
Derek was under the impression that these people were trying to get presidential funding for some sort of medical research having to do with neurology. And I guess Owen realized the president was actually on board. That was weird, though.
I mean, either way, like he kind of gave him a nugget to like help them like start in a consulting way. He gave him a free nugget, like you guys need to basically start over because you're on the wrong track. You know what I mean? So that was like noble of him as a person because I would have wanted to flip that. I want to flip that sheet of paper over so bad. I was like, flip the paper over.
I know, right?
Flip the paper over.
Although I love how we're pretending they're not all super wealthy from the plane crash settlement.
No, but they can't be wealthy anymore. They put all their money into this hospital. There was a big hole gashing through the ER. Like their money has to be dwindling.
Millions.
Okay,
they still have a lot of money. But yes, I would have turned the paper over too. At least to know what I'm worth.
Yeah, at least go through the trash can. Like when they leave to like, no, I don't know.
But it was crazy because right before the actual wedding ceremony, Meredith, in a moment of self-realization on how fantastic her husband is, went up to him and said, I understand the sacrifices that you're making and I love you so much for it.
I know, right?
And he, a look of serenity, it's all for you, baby. I don't mind at all.
Yeah, he was definitely, it wasn't like, he wasn't regretting it at that point. But when he sat back down after the president called, it was oh no, hi honey, still love you as much as I did 20 minutes ago. But
so in a sense, that's a cliffhanger, the least exciting one, albeit.
It's a pretty exciting, but it's just going to be a fight. Like,
so let's go to this gorgeous barn wedding, which I know I'm a little obsessed with and couldn't stop talking about last week. And this entire episode, I'm like, when are we getting to the wedding?
And of course, she's already been to this venue before.
Yes, that was what is amazing about it. The second they show it, I realize that I have been to a wedding there in Camarillo. It is beautiful in person, let me tell you, people.
Beautiful venue.
I bet it gets more popular now that wedding has happened there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
No, it's gorgeous. You're literally in a barn. It was beautiful.
That's cute.
It's really a great venue.
Kepner looked absolute. Let's start with Kepner. So Kepner has been going around the hospital, and she's looking for her bridesmaids.
BT Dubs, I told her so.
Yeah.
You don't pick them as your bridesmaids.
Especially
you pick
Cristina.
Your sisters who flew in and took off work for this.
Yes.
Not three women that can hardly do anything for you.
And they're not even getting along.
They
you know what I mean?
skipped all their fittings.
I love it. I love it.
That was funny. She had the seamstress come to the hospital.
Yeah, while she's in rollers, and Matt's like, were you wearing a really big hat? Like, acting as if he didn't know.
That was cute.
That was cute. But, so she's going around the hospital getting her new bridesmaids together, and they have to have this lovely, like, seamstress fitting, and that's when that moment between Yang and Meredith happens. But the dresses for the bridesmaids, I have to say, were just okay and not very flattering. But the wedding dress on Kepner with the short cap sleeves, love that. I absolutely love the sleeves. I don't know why.
I thought I had seen a screenshot of what she was going to look like, I must have not, because I was really in love with her look.
Yeah, I loved it.
Her updo was just sort of Pollyanna enough to be her. Mm-hmm. And then the super romantic cap sleeves with the accent coming off on her shoulders. She looked adorable.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, that's a solid win. I would say this is probably my favorite bride we have seen on the show.
Oh, that's
Who
kind
else
of
comes
big.
close?
That's a big ordeal.
Remember how ridiculous Izzy looked? Like, you can't pick anybody that looked more pretty than Kepner.
I love it. What do you guys think? Definitely tune in on Twitter.
Kepner looked the prettiest she's ever looked in the entire series.
Yeah.
And I am counting that wedding that she was naked from the neck up.
Oh my, what?
Remember, she said that to Avery. She was wearing a strapless dress. I'm going to be naked from the shoulders up.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So ridiculous.
She looks so beautiful.
She looked great.
This was pristine. This wedding looked beautiful. And her sisters sitting there all mad in the audience, like the ugly stepsisters.
No, I love that. That was the cute part. But Yang comes in the room. She's a little bit late to the wedding, which is...
First, we have Callie. Philippi. So this is what's so funny about it. She has these 3 bridesmaids that she chose because they're better friends than her sisters, and they're terrible bridesmaids. They're the worst bridesmaids of all time, and we knew they would be.
Yeah, no, she didn't choose them because they're her friends. She chose them because they were just there in the room.
Like they were the 3 people sitting to her right.
Yeah, like, and that's why she chose them. But what's her name? Arizona. This whole episode, we don't know why Arizona is a little all over the place because, Callie's coming in and really excited about her mapping ordeal and really just kind of like, it's going to help us and you mainly, like, da-da-da-da. And I was like, she's getting annoying, like, shut up and leave the room, kind of obnoxious in a way. But she finally revealed that, she just wants to be known as who she is now and not who she was then, and trying to get her back to where she was because she's ever evolving and she's never going to be who she was before. And so
I could see that.
Yeah, it's complete sense. Made complete sense.
It goes the opposite way too. I met my husband in college when I wasn't so, I don't know, together.
Yeah.
I had a very Midwestern look, and I still was eating dairy then.
Okay.
I went off dairy, dropped 10, 15 pounds in a week or two. It was nuts. Anyway, my husband had a crush on me then. Then I went through this phase, much better, kind of blossomed, lived pretty glam, much better outfits. But then this week when I was all sick, I'm like, gosh, I'm glad I fell in love with somebody who knew me when I was an ugly duckling.
Aw, that's cute.
So I could see what she's saying. I want you to accept me for all phases. I want you to accept me for who I am now, the way I look now, the way I may always look.
Yeah, but I mean, they're trying to get back together and falling in love and like trying to figure out what they are now after this whole adultery, as Kepner said, like, get over your adultery. But her opening up to Kepner was a cute moment because they had that moment in the closet this season.
That was what's funny to me about it. They've literally had one friend moment.
Yeah, like one.
And all of a sudden she's maid of honor.
Yeah, I love that. Love that. But like when it comes down to it, I don't think that Callie and Arizona are going to last ultimately, and we got a glimpse of that, why it wouldn't last, because Callie can't really move on to who she is now, and I completely agree with that, but I just feel like it was the wrong time to break down,
That was what's so funny about it.
Like, I'm with Kepner, like, shut up, like...
So that was what's hilarious. She can't stop crying. Callie's lost it.
Here comes Meredith.
Meredith and Yang at it again.
Mm-hmm, instantly.
And they have this great moment.
Where they...
By the way, I need to go back. I do think Callie and Arizona are going to last.
We'll see.
I really thought they weren't. Now I think they are.
We'll see.
Anyway, they have this moment where they're stop being mad for 1 second and tell each other what's actually going on.
Yeah. I mean, you have to take a step back and be like, you hurt my feelings. That was mean. You're being mean because of this X, Y, and Z. And I feel like I was being mean because of X, Y, and Z, but I'm still a better surgeon. No, she didn't say that.
But Yang said, I'm calling you a bad surgeon. You're calling me a bad person.
No, Yang said I didn't even call you a bad surgeon. No, I don't even know now. I got to watch the episode again. It was so good.
I'm definitely watching it twice.
Yeah.
Or 3 times. Mm-hmm. And if Jason once every year from now till the end of my life.
Oh my gosh. Love that. So anyways, they have this moment and they reveal that like basically we're starting to hate each other and we're falling apart. And it's this, you're still supposed to be my somebody after, until the end of time, and so that moment was really cute because they're basically back to being friends. It's definitely going to be a little bit of a struggle, but
they both had great points. I mean, Yang said, your life looks different. Mine looks the same, but I'm different.
Yeah.
And then I really have to hear that, you know? Just because somebody doesn't make the same life choices as you doesn't mean they aren't making incredible progress personally.
Exactly. But it was cute how Kepner was like, okay.
That was hilarious.
I'm glad how you guys are having this moment when it comes down to it. It's supposed to be all about me. Everyone's supposed to be fluffing me up, zhuzhing me, and working it out.
Stop talking about adultery on my wedding day.
I love that. And then immediately they're like, oh, do you need some water? You need a tissue? Like, I love that.
She's like, make me feel special. And she should have.
Yeah.
Man, she picked the worst bridesmaids. Poor Kepner. She can't have her sisters because they're mean. She can't have the other doctors because they don't care about her.
No, not at all. But as she walks down the aisle, I thought she looked beautiful, as we said.
And she was being walked down by her real dad in real life.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes,
oh, yeah, that's right. And it was just really cute that, like, she gave that moment to... She was really excited that the chief was there, that everyone from the hospital was there. It almost brought her to tears, but when she was walking down, she gave that look to Avery as if like, oh, it's okay, like everything is great. And I absolutely was like, yes, okay, maybe the wedding is going to happen.
And I said last week I thought the wedding was going to happen.
And the whole time I was like, it's not happening, until they gave that reassuring look to each other, like, it's okay, this is...
And he had just had a great day with Stephanie. Mm-hmm. So she gets to the front. Matthew looks perfect, aside from his one random chick man.
Yeah, why... he didn't have any...
One of his groomsmen was a woman. That was... whatever. It just threw me off.
Okay.
Shonda can do what she wants.
Yes.
But this seems so traditional besides that. Anyway, they're up there. It's beautiful. They have cast this guy that is such a great minister. That guy just screamed minister to me.
He just screamed like Midwest. Like, it was awesome.
She looked perfect. He looked perfect. Everything looked perfect.
But why were they standing up there not holding hands yet?
That looked a little awkward. The body language is a little awkward.
Yeah.
But she looked there. She was ready. Mm-hmm. Everything that Matthew had said to her that day was so romantic. So we go through the audience and scan the faces of the people.
Does anyone have anything to say about this
He's like this, I need to know if you guys will support the wedding. And we see everybody, I will, except Avery.
Mm-hmm. And then Stephanie saying, I will, looking at Avery.
She realizes he didn't say anything. This, in my opinion, is his best acting of the entire show.
Oh my gosh, to tears. I was in tears because of his acting. So, okay, so let's keep pushing forward. Okay. So, Stephanie's looking at him like, wait, he didn't say I will. And then he looks at her and is like, oh my goodness, like, I don't think, he doesn't say anything.
He says, I'm sorry, and stands up. Oh, I love it that he didn't say anything the first time he stood up. Everybody looks at him. That's awkward. What's he doing? April even looks back. Okay, he sits back down. Tears in his eyes. I saw right there all the pain of your true love lost right in his face. Man, Starr lost it. That was such a great moment. His huge blue eyes and being surrounded by her love, that she was about to marry somebody else. And we were like, oh my God, it's done. He sat back down. That's it.
No,
he didn't say anything.
I knew it.
I didn't know. Oh, it was so much suspense. And then he stood back up.
Well, I knew this was coming. I knew that Avery and Kepner are together forever till the end, okay? Forever, happily ever after.
I wasn't going to put it past the show to have her be married and still have feelings for him, though.
Oh, and then like maybe cheat later? Okay, yeah, that's a possibility. But
we knew they were endgame.
My thing is like the words he said to her, you know? Like he stood up and you can just see like that he absolutely just loved her. Like, there's nothing, he's always, with Stephanie, it's always just like, it's just a thing.
He said, I love you, and I want you to be with me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh. I want to watch that whole scene again. I want to see this whole episode again. It was so good, and I know you guys loved it because you guys were on Twitter already talking about the ending was the best part, and I cannot believe we have to wait until February 27th for her to see what she says.
We didn't see what she said.
I can't believe it.
It cut off.
Ugh. Such a good episode. Brought me to tears.
Oh my God. This is Grey's Anatomy at its best. 10 years, fully formed, knocked it out of the park. Bravo.
Yeah, good show.
I can't believe we have to wait till February, though. Rip my heart out and kick it across the room, why don't you?
Okay, we'll talk about that in predictions, I guess. But,
okay.
Such a good show.
fantastic. A 10. I give it a 10.
I give it a 9 to 8.5. I give it an 8.5.
We want to do predictions.
Okay, let's do it.
So what do you think, Starr? The main issue. What does April say?
April looks at him and says, I'm sorry, and then she runs to Avery, and then everyone is in an uproar. But I definitely think that, like, they're going to end up together, and that's just what I've always thought, and so I'm really happy it's going that way, because the episode's called Get Up, Stand Up, and he got up and he stood up.
Good for
Love
him.
that. I think Sheng Yang and Ross, I think Sheng Yang is going to get he's going to get in trouble, and maybe they're going to not be together anymore. Because
no, they're done.
He's
like, it's just to relieve your stress, perv.
Yeah, like a little weird. So I feel like he's going to have to go through therapy and all of that, as well as, like, I don't know what's going to happen with the dad, but I feel like he's going to flatline and not come back to the show, which is going to give another arc to
I feel like
him.
Dad dead. We're going to see it. We're going to see Alex marry Joe next season.
Yes.
But as far as April is concerned, I can't believe I'm still on this side. I think she's going to go through with the wedding.
Oh my gosh.
I think her and Avery are meant to be. That moment between them was beautiful, and the best moment that these two characters have had as a couple.
Great show. Such a good show. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
And I do think that this is the beginning of the mending of the Meredith Cristina drama.
And she's still going to leave the hospital.
Of course, she's still going to leave. And you know, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be good.
You
good
know
episode.
what? We are going to incredibly miss each other and miss you guys until February. I'll see you all in 2014, at which point in time, I will be pretty enormous.
Woo! She's popping right there. Happy holidays, everyone, and enjoy yourself and be safe out there. People are already acting crazy, driving crazy, so just be careful out there and have a great New Year's, and we'll see you next year in February 27th.
We'll see you for the conclusion of Season 10.
What are your Twitters?
That's right. I'm Starr Session. You can find me on Twitter.
You can find me.
This is awkward now.
You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Julie Partin. That's Julie Partin, and I'd love to connect with you there over the hiatus.
All right, see you soon. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.